So I had a really good day the other day. It just was one of those days where you go, man, I really enjoy my life. I know some of you probably just threw up because so many of you are in crisis and just like, no, Samuel, not feeling that today. You will. It'll come. But I had this moment and I was like, man, this is just a great day. Things are going well for all of my kids. I don't mean that there's not challenge and difficulty, and there certainly is, and there's some challenges for us maritally and independently. We're walking through some stuff, but it was just a great moment. And I can tell you that if you're going to go into the next season of your life, if you want to come into, call it recovery land, if you want to come into the new season that your marriage has, or that you have the opportunity to enjoy personally, you can't take some things with you into this new season. I mean, there's stories all over the Bible about it. There's stories just in general life that, man, if you want to go into this new land, if you want to go into this new season, you can't take with you some things that you had in the old land, the old system, the old way of living. You just can't bring those things into this new season. And so today I want to outline just a few things that I'll tell you you don't have room for in the next season of recovery. You just can't take them with you, because if you do, it will sabotage your recovery. It will sabotage the new season that either God has for you, or the new season that you have for yourself, or the new season that awaits your marriage, or even you if you're going to be divorcing or separating and moving into a great deal of uncertainty, but at the end of the day, you're moving forward. Number one is you're going to have to deal with what a lot of spouses, if they're really honest, will talk about, especially as a betrayed, is hate for your spouse. Samantha, when she speaks, undeniably will say, yes, I hated Samuel early on. When I found out, I hated him. I didn't want to be around him, talk with him, be with him. I despised him. I hated him, and it was a dark spot in my soul. And it's very common to feel that way. But if you're going to cross the boundary into the new season of your marriage or your own life, you cannot allow that hate to live there. I would say Samantha probably felt that way about a month, maybe 3 weeks. And then we finally got some good help, and they helped us understand how that was actually undermining the entire process. You're going to have to get rid of the hate that you have towards your spouse. Number two is you're going to have to confront the anger that you're feeling. If you are just angry, and we've talked about this a ton of times, you can't enjoy the new season, because your go-to button, your reflex that you kind of get shocked into is responding with anger, and that will jeopardize, and that will cut the legs out from underneath the new season that your marriage can have. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be angry at what happened, but you can't continue to stay in that place of anger. Remember, you can't work around it, you got to work through it. Number three, I know you're going to kind of go, oh great, here we go again, but you're going to have to work through unforgiveness. Now, I want to approach it at a different angle and remind you, you could be 2, 3, 4 years into recovery and hit a difficult spot and go, what the heck is going on? It's probably another layer of forgiveness that needs to happen. Around 7 or 8 years, I hit a point where I just didn't know there was some things in my soul, and I had to work through some forgiveness towards Samantha. I know some of you betrayed just threw up or threw things at the TV or the phone or the computer. I get it. But Samantha will tell you, at probably about 5 years, there was this moment where she was like, whoa, what's going on? And she talked with Rick, and Rick helped her see, look, these are some things that you buried, and you're going to have to confront them, and you're going to have to work through another layer that you were unaware of. That's just pure and simple recovery and life as an adult. Now this one is going to hurt. You're going to have to give up a desire for vengeance with your spouse who's betrayed you. You just can't take that with you. You're going to have to give up and surrender and hang on the cross or hang on a hook, the desire for vengeance to try and make your spouse get it or to make them suffer. Which leads me to the next concept, which is you're going to have to surrender the desire to see your spouse suffer. You just can't live that way. If you're constantly living that way, then you have not forgiven them, and you are still holding on to bitterness and resentment, which is a toxic acid that is killing you more than it's killing your spouse, but it is affecting and interrupting your recovery and the new season that maybe we are trying to help you get to, or that your spouse, or that just in general you're trying to get to. You cannot continue to have a desire to see your spouse suffer. Now I want to give you a few for the unfaithful that really kicked my butt. Is you have to get rid of a desire to live this aloof life. You're not like every other marriage. If you're an unfaithful when you are at a dinner party, you are going to have to be Johnny on the spot. You're going to have to be very self-aware. You cannot talk to a woman the way that you used to talk to a woman. You can't live that way. When I'm in a dinner party now, or when I'm at church or a gathering or what have you, I have to be very self-aware, annoyingly self-aware. But I brought this upon myself, and I've embraced it now. And I do pretty well. Every now and then I kind of forget or what have you and just get distracted. But you, specifically as an unfaithful, are going to have to be far more self-aware, far more discerning than you've ever been. You can't live, like I used to call it, on autopilot. You guys, you have to be careful what movies you go see. You're going to have to go review movies and read the reviews. And if there's infidelity in it, you're probably going to have to go, nope, not for us. You're going to have to be very careful about maybe songs or comedians or things that you do. Not because you can't one day see those things, but if it's early on, you probably just don't want to. Now the retort is, Samuel, like, am I going to have to live this life with all these boundaries and I can't just be normal? No, you'll be able to be normal one day. Right now, it's probably hard as hell. So if you think that you can kind of be aloof and just kind of be that wild, crazy guy or girl that doesn't really think about life, it's not going to work in recovery. You also are going to have to refrain from downplaying what's happened. Primarily the unfaithful. You cannot downplay this. You're going to have to be aware of how you communicate, of how you handle yourself, of how you come home from work, of how you get up in the morning, of what you do with your computer, your phone. I mean, you cannot survive in the new season of your marriage if you're going to be out of touch with the severity of what your choices have done to your spouse. It doesn't mean you live in condemnation. It doesn't mean that you're a doormat. It just means that you are aware of what your spouse has suffered because of your actions. And finally, you cannot be half-hearted in your recovery. It just won't work. If you're going to progressively mature and progressively heal and gain new momentum, half-hearted approaches to recovery, to counseling, to doing recovery work, to relapse prevention, to communication, to date nights, to oneness, to doing things that you did early on, you cannot be half-hearted. You're going to have to be fully committed to the process. If you'll do these things, I think that your momentum will continue to progress, and I think that you will wake up one day and go, damn it, today is a great day. I have learned to love my life, and I am fulfilled where I am at right now.